my name is Karen Remler. I'm the director of the Five College Women's Studies Research Center, and we are one of the sponsors of this event.
Hello.
Hello, Nick.
Hello,
Nick.
Does Nick keep the camera?
I don't know the camera.
Okay,
Don't have a camera. Okay, so you're a voice. You've got the voice that I don't have.
welcome, Nick. I'm Karen Remler. We're about to begin, so I wanted to just to let you know we're going to do some introductions, and then I'll turn the floor over to you and Toby when we're all done. Okay, welcome.
Thank you, pleasure.
Okay. So this event, I wanted to also thank our other sponsors of this event, in particular the German Studies Department, which is also providing much of the support, if not all of the support, for this event. And I also wanted to acknowledge the Five College Women's Studies Research Center, and in particular, I wanted to acknowledge Familia, and Professor Gabi Davis will be saying a little bit more about that organization and the significance of the date of having this event on this date today. I also wanted to alert you to an upcoming event at the center on globalization and local resistance in the media, welfare rights discourses in Israel and Massachusetts, by one of our research associates, Noah Millman. And that's this Thursday at 4:30 over at the center across the street. So you're all welcome to join us for that event as well. It's a wonderful pleasure to welcome back Professor Tobe Levin, who was a research associate at the center in 2004. So she has a strong connection to the center, also to Mount Holyoke College, and to the German Studies Department. And I also wanted to thank Nairi Rubinian for helping us set this up, and also Professor Davis in the German Studies Department for putting together this event. I'm just going to say a few words of introduction, then turn the floor over to Professor Davis to say a few more words. Professor Levin comes to us from Germany, where she is a professor at the University of Maryland program for military students in Frankfurt on Main, Frankfurt, Maine, as we say here. And I wanted to say a few words about her work, which is very, very prolific. She is an advocate for victims of female genital mutilation, and also a feminist who not only does research in areas of gender studies, she also is a publisher. So she's one of those few academics who really brings research together with advocacy and activism, and also helps get the word out and helps support writers and artists and others who have either been directly affected by FGM or who have been advocates for victims of FGM in telling their story. So she's someone who's also a storyteller and helps others tell their story. She's also an adjunct lecturer at the University of Frankfurt and an associate of the W.E.B. Du Bois Institute at Harvard University. She has a PhD in comparative literature from Cornell University, and she was the first in the world to have written a dissertation on the Nobel laureate Elfriede Jelinek, the Austrian writer. She's also one of the first to publish essays on FGM in creative writing, and she has also been invited numerous times to speak before different commissions and parliaments, including the European Union, the British Parliament, and the Bundestag, to talk about FGM issues. As I said before, she's the editor-in-chief of Feminist Europa review of books and the founding president of Forward. She also is a translator. So many of her works, such as Born in the Big Rains, a memoir of Somalia and survival, was written, she published that, right?
No, Feminist Press did.
Feminist Press did,
Yeah,
okay.
before.
And that's by Fatuma Korn and Sabina Eichhorst. She also edited a volume on violence with Rodolphe in 2008. And I wanted to draw your attention to this particular book, Empathy and Rage, Female Genital Mutilation in African Literature, which she edited along with Augustine Assah. And today she's going to talk together with our guest, welcome, Nick Wamaku from Kenya, who is joining us through the ether, so to speak, to talk with Professor Levin about fiction versus fact, authoring The End of Female Genital Mutilation, Alice Walker and Nick Mwaloko. So I'm going to turn the floor over to Professor Davis, who's going to add some words of welcome and thanks.
I would like to again thank everybody, the Five College Women's Studies Center, also Familia. And Familia self-identifies as a confidential support network that serves self-identified LGBTQ people of color in the Five College community. Familia aims to increase the visibility of LGBTQ people of color in the Five Colleges and to increase awareness in the Five College community about issues affecting LGBTQ people of color by creating a space for open dialogue. As Karen said, we are very happy to welcome again in our midst Tobe Levin, and I will not repeat what Karen so aptly talked about in terms of Toby's biography. I don't know whether I'm anticipating anything when I say something about Nick, but Nick, the one thing that I do want to say, because it fits in with the part that I want to emphasize, is Africa, if you've read the part that I sent around, the excerpt, or if you've read the entire book, the drama asks many questions. It's a tragic love story. It asks questions about the nature of love, of gender, identity, sexual orientation, culture, tradition, and ultimately about the nature of humanity. To me, this is particularly fitting today, the eve of the 20th of November. And we are missing quite a few people who would have been here otherwise, because it is the eve of that date. And the 20th of November, and Nick will know this particularly well because he's in San Francisco right now. The 20th of November is the Transgender Day of Remembrance. It's not a happy day because it is the day that has been chosen because on the 28th of November in 1998, in San Francisco, there was a candlelight vigil held for Rita Hester's murder. It's a murder that has yet to be solved. And she was murdered because she was transgender. It's a day of remembrance because so many people each year are murdered simply and yet complexly because they are transgender. There is a kind of a running tally that you can find on the web that tells you that more and more people each year since that time when they started the tally either are being killed or maybe we know more about them. Between January 2008 and April 30th, 2013, 1,233 trans people in 59 countries have been murdered, according to that tally. There's a map documenting these murders that you can find in Trans Respect versus Transphobia Worldwide. We know now that unfortunately the great majority of the cases, all of them are transgender cases, but the great majority of those transgender cases are transgender women of color. I don't want to take too much time away, but I would like to conclude with an adaptation of, let me call it a poem for now, of a piece that was written by Vicki Gibbs, and that I really like a lot because it expresses a lot of thoughts that I think are appropriate, not just, and just please do not take that as anything that is confining for Transgender Day of Remembrance, but I think in general for us as human beings. A kind of wish that I have for all of us. Let us help each other move beyond the exclusiveness of an either-or mentality to the inclusiveness of an all and every way of thinking. Let us move beyond binary definitions to the mystery and complexity of infinite creativity and creation. As we pause to remember those senselessly murdered because of their all-encompassing humanity, open hearts that need to hear, souls that need to know, and minds that need to see that there are no limits to humankind, to creation. Again, this was originally by Vicki Gibbs, and she had formulated it as a prayer. Let's hope we can get there someday, and let's do our best that we will strive to this. Okay.
Nick, can you hear me?
Yes.
Were you able to hear the introductions?
Yes.
Good. What I propose to do is to show the PowerPoint that I prepared, that I sent to you. Did you have time to look at it?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
I will be reading from it, so you will at least hear it if you can't see it. And I'm going to invite the audience, after I thank them very much for being here and taking an interest in both of these very challenging and gruesome topics, or at least many instances sad and tragic topics, to interrupt whenever they like and ask questions. So we'll have the questions for me and for you. And when I conclude, that's when I would like you to respond. Is that okay?
It's great, yeah.
Okay. I'm also reversing the order that I had planned for the presentation. Alice Walker's book on which I am working and the story that she tells in Possessing the Secret of Joy could have been a good introduction to Wafrika, and the link, the bridge, would have been the chapter in my book about Walker, which Nick has contributed. So, but Nick is online now, and he has time now, so we're going to be flexible about this. Can you open the... I'm sorry about my voice. I just discovered this when I opened my mouth after a 4-hour silence, and this is what came out. It's the Wafrika. And I advance it as usual. Okay. So, before I go into it, a word of introduction. How did this play enter the program of my little publishing company, Uncut Voices Press? And a secondary question to that, how was Uncut Voices Press born? There is a world, a global movement against female genital mutilation. But outside of the United States, it manifests quite differently than it does here. And being American born, but living abroad, I was aware at how much richness, how much quality of literary and nonfiction production was being published in book form, in articles also, of a quality which was not being translated because these things were in French and German and Italian and Spanish and so on. So, being a comparatist and reading these books, mostly the French and the German, I saw there was a real need for this type of voice. So the first two books that my publishing company did were translations from the French. One was a memoir by one of the leading activists from Senegal, whose picture I think you will see in the presentation for Nick. And the other was about the pioneering surgeon who restores the clitoris, Pierre Foldes. So I will afterwards in the discussion say a little bit more about these books. But they were the first two really important ones I saw. And after that, I was looking for material, and someone sent me an email. Did you know, they wrote, that tomorrow there is going to be a play about FGM performed in New York? And I just happened to be in touch with another playwright who was a poet who then wrote the foreword to this book. And I wrote to her immediately, Ginny, are you free tonight? When I talk about tonight and tomorrow, it's all confused because of the time difference between Germany and New York, right? I mean, it was today for me, but tomorrow for her. So I said, will you be able to go and see if this play is something that I would like to publish? And she went and she came back and she was marvelously enthusiastic. Okay, I will close the introduction at this point because I will repeat points that I have made in the PowerPoint. So we'll begin. Oh, okay. No,
The right.
this one. Oops. What did you do? How did you do that? Just click. Okay, so this is the cover, designed by Nick also. We know from the Luo tribe in Kenya, footnote, not on the screen, Luo do not perform female genital mutilation. This is noted in the book, but we emphasize it is a work of fiction. And there is a literary reason for constructing this particular fact. Okay, and then we meet Bobby, a blonde American Peace Corps volunteer. They fall in love in a time and place where lesbians don't exist. Oops, how do I go back? I have to learn how to use this particular, we're going forward. Nope, no, we've gone back, okay. And now I want to go forward. What do? I just click this once?
Yeah.
Okay. Set on the ancestral burial ground of Luoland, a fictitious village northwest of Kenya's capital, Nairobi, Wafrika's most memorable scenes, in my view, present Owino, a butch lesbian trans man from the Luo tribe, and her father, note the pronoun, the village chief negotiating love, identity, and pride. And I don't know how many of you know Gloria Naylor's Women of Brewster Place, 1992 did it come out, or 1989, 88? Long time ago. It made its author quite famous as an African-American literary artist. And there is a scene with a character named Kiswana Brown in which she is discussing identity with her mother. Very powerful scene, and I'm reminded of that in the scene in Wafrika. So what happens in Wafrika? I didn't know that you had been introduced to this, so I will be covering territory which may be familiar. 1992 Kenya, as an increase in personal freedom appears possible against the backdrop of the nation's first democratic elections, Two women fall in love, Bobby, a blonde American development worker, and Owino. Complicating matters is Owino's father's rank. He's the village chief who enforces traditions and codes, but clearly also loves his daughter. Well, we do have scapegoats here. This love is challenged by Owino's increasingly overt flaunting of gender norms. And when famine strikes, the lesbian pair takes the blame. To regain equilibrium, to make everything, quote, normal again, Owino, which bordering on trans, must be, quote, circumcised by force, made to act like a real woman, not a woman who wants to be a man. It was this insight which also drew me powerfully to the drama, because it illuminated for me, who has been working on FGM, I tell you with a degree of shame since we've accomplished relatively little since 1977. And one of the keys to the continuity of this scourge, is the insistence on gender roles, rigid gender assignment. And so a play which challenges that understanding is to me, per se, a progressive tool in this fight. What is the drama's role in ending FGM? Wafrika, by illuminating the background to the custom in inflexible gender roles and sexual norms, is probably the issue's first lesbian play with a transgender impulse. As Harvard's Tracy Jones attests, Wafrika will certainly dispel the idea that same-sex relationships are foreign to Africa, and in doing so, it suggests that broader sexualities and identities are possible. And another footnote, this too links the work of Alice Walker with that of Nick in Wafrika. To open new avenues of understanding, a global movement to end female genital mutilation, a human rights violation of extreme complexity and tenacity, needs stunning original art like Nick Maluka's Wafrika. As Ginny Stern tells us in the foreword, a great playwright teaches us how to think, an even greater one teaches us how to love. Nick Maluka was that rare kind of teacher who does both. It is a classic in the sense of its power derives in part from the Aristotelian formula, the three unities, deployed to grand effect by the French 17th century playwrights. It uses the unity of place, which means the action takes place in one setting. The action itself has a very well-defined beginning, middle, and end. You can easily see its coherence. And time within a single day. And so this compression of the drama creates a tremendous amount of suspense and emotion. And it is that creation of emotion, that engagement of the audience, that empathic identification, which is extremely important in addressing female genital mutilation per se as well. So here are some images from Thinking Cap Theater's production, which was directed by Nicole Stoddard on May 30th, 2013. And we see Owino, this is in Florida. Owino is played by Makiba Pace, the chief by John Archie, and Bobby by Kim Ailey. And one thing I would like to mention about the chief, I've never seen the play, but the description of the chief and the way in which the chief speaks, the choice of terms and vocabulary, his stature and self-assurance project a truly regal image. And at the same time, this is not a distant image. It is one which is capable of bridging a gap between high status and close affection. And that's quite a powerful accomplishment. So what does Nick have to say about inspiration for the play? I knew that what you were very much interested in was not really hearing from me, but hearing from Nick, and it was a shame he couldn't come. So he's part of the audience at the moment. But what you will see now is I've put all of the words on the slide. The following slides are quotations from an unpublished manuscript I have filed under the mundane title Wafrika Nick's Description, September 2011. So we start in medias res. but with something very important. The piece actually began with a scream, with an onomatopoeic reproduction of something I couldn't possibly reproduce for you. But then we ask, the voice? Penetrating, direct, authoritative. It's an order. Sit. And so we did. About 10 or so children, mostly little girls, were asked by our senior village elder to listen, to take serious note. Nobody go near that woman ever there. Sorry. Nobody go near that woman over there. Understand? Never, ever mention her name. Don't go anywhere near her place of residence to visit. Should she cross your path, turn so the dust from her footsteps does not mix with your own, or you will become like her. I hope I'm making myself perfectly clear. Am I? Perhaps I should explain, these are all mixed words. Elders are to traditional rural African society what written literature is to Western history, the truth that fuels a belief system that sustains an otherwise delicate community with an equally fragile backbone. So these do's and don'ts came often from seniority whom we worshipped. After all, we were little children in a tiny remote village, vulnerable little creatures, seen but never heard, not spoken to, living in shadow territory within a country largely ignored by the world stage. What troubled me most was I couldn't see why this woman had been singled out. She didn't have the usual markers that made someone suspect. She hadn't had an affair. Her body had no visible deformities, no history of generational mental illness or unusual behavior claimed her. So I followed her, yes, secretly. My footsteps and hers overlapped for several years as I compiled a profile that grew into the character I called Owena. How so? Fiction arrives where reality takes flight, either through strict silence or willful blindness. I could not see or hear or find any reason why this woman was forced into exile. So I did what any writer does, crawled into my fiction-making imagination to invent a world in which she was exiled, but didn't have to be. The way in which we have alternatives emerging from a situation which may appear dead-ended, which may appear as under the bell jar, which may look like there is no way out. And yet, the genius of the presentation allows us to perceive or gives us a hint of alternatives. This woman, like Owena, was an outsider from within, an outcast within her own community for reasons unknown, and therefore criminal in my mind. This is the mind of the child, of course. So the mental madness that makes music from fictional reality stirred from there. How is this woman me while not me? Who has the authority to choke her into non-existence? Love? If so, who? Someone like her, I reasoned, an outsider within. And so, Bobby, a blonde American Peace Corps volunteer, was born. Beyond dramatizing, quote, impossible love and survival mode, end quote, between two edgy lesbians in an interracial queer relationship, the most vital work involved unearthing Owena's desperate search for something larger than tribe. I thought and continue to think, this is what African women deserve. Celebrated space dedicated exclusively to them. Space outside tribe, outside husband, children, foreigners, tradition, culture, time, history, God, ancestors. Affirming space dedicated to self that is theirs and theirs only. And that's my friend Kadi. Kadi was the memoir writer that I introduced as the author of the first book that I published. And of course I thought of her. I will interject a little bit here. Her story involves a catalog of abuses which result from inequality of power within the gendered relationship. Clitoridectomy, child marriage, rape within marriage that resulted in serial pregnancies, inability to earn a living and therefore entrapment in a very small space, exile because her husband brought her to Paris, and yet, remarkably, she not only managed to break the chain of abuse, but you see her here with the United Nations sign, because she was the one who led the movement for a global ban against FGM that was actually passed by the General Assembly on the 20th of December 2012. Now, this was a long fight, but she was very active, together with the present Foreign Minister of Italy, Emma Bonino, and Cadi. So that's one of Uncut Voices books as well. We're back to Nick. Because I think Owino is faced with a dilemma born of the human condition, and I think it is this: you can have a solid identity, but may not know who you are. S/HE is contradiction, mystery, outlaw, unscripted, individual, unique. Celebrated space devoted to affirming self would allow an African woman the flexibility to be while not be. Would allow for a fluid self that is less gendered, less scripted, less sexualized, less historical, less traditional, less invisible, less visible, much less abused or confused, given its many contradictions. Because these opposites actually coexist. Because these opposites actually coexist, the real work involves accepting the obvious, that you are who you are not while becoming who you hope to be. Let me do that again. You are who you are not while becoming what you hope to be. And who is that? And where is that celebrated space for a queer African lesbian in a non-conforming body, sexuality, gender? Space set aside for the most vulnerable member of an ancient society fueled by masculinity and patriarchy. Where is that space? Fixed answer. In you. That scream, launched at birth, declaring your arrival into a world so eager to label you. Boy, girl, normal, healthy, name, sexuality, birthday. So many stupid assumptions. That scream from birth must be a cry of resistance. Resistance, by the way, is the secret of joy. Alice Walker. Launched against the many stupid assumptions, scripted onto the body, onto identity, an identity that is mysterious by nature. And I remember hearing this from Gabi's voice just a moment ago. That first scream at birth is celebrated space in you crying out. It's the one thing in life worth chasing, celebrating, honoring, because it's yours, is you. Push fear aside as the basis of all things human. Listen to the story your body is telling. Then find it. Go live it. Caress it. Understand it. Celebrate it. Love, worship that inner scream that cries, I've arrived. Here I am. Okay. That is the background to the play. Nick, do you want to say something?
Well, yeah, can I make it a little dirty?
Of course, right?
Yeah. I'll make it a little more,
I wrote him that I developed a sanitized version, so.
you developed the sanitized, you took the sanitized version.
Yes.
We also, we were really, we were faced when because we were, gay, lesbians, and trans and stuff like, and we were faced really with a death threat by the government every time we had sex, every time we fucked each other, every time we looked at each other. We really felt it, and I think contrary to what people might think, we really didn't shrink away from actually going after each other. I feel it brought us closer, that pressure and that death threat, and it made things really quite vital. In a way, sometimes that a free society, quote unquote, free society can't and doesn't. I'm going to accept it because the alternative for me, I can't really imagine the alternative. And even though Bobby keeps pushing that alternative, and they are actually living together and stuff like that, I don't think at that stage in the play Owino is able to actually imagine, and I feel that Managat is so heavily upon you for some of us, or for some people. So others it was different, but for some of us, we weren't able to actually think of a future. The moment was so large, having sex was so large, having a relationship was so large, being touched back, being affirmed, having that space, having that scream, being involved with someone. It was such a huge and vital moment that the possibility of it ongoing, and that you could survive beyond that moment as an actual couple within a lifestyle and a future, it just didn't seem possible. And there was an exploration in the play of that too. That's all I wanted to add.
Thank you, Nick.
Thanks.
Any questions for Nick? He's gonna hang around, right? He's gonna be here for a while?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, then I will just go over the reviews. Yeah? This we can make available to you. These are the links where you can go and read them yourself. But I've taken one and quoted it at length. This is Wafracut Empire Stage, Be Prepared to Squirm, by John Thomason, from May 30th to 13. This critic wrote, Wafrika is the kind of work that could get a playwright killed in a less enlightened country. It doesn't just upset an apple cart of tradition practiced in 28 nations, as well as wherever the diaspora has brought those who practice it. It uproots the card and smashes the apples, revealing the rotten cores and razor blades tucked inside. Written by Nick Maluko, a transgender Kenyan-born journalist, playwright, and LGBT activist, Wafrika is an impassioned howl of rage directed at the barbaric practice of female genital circumcision, which I have relabeled FGM, and Kenya's regressive militant stance towards gays and lesbians. Both of these themes have equal weight, with good reason. I'm sorry it's a little small, but in Kenya, same-sex relationships are worse than sinful. According to the Kenya Human Rights Commission, 89% of LGBTI people who come out to their families are disowned. And few are able to survive in the workplace once their orientation becomes public. For Owino, the 90 minutes of Wafrika present her with a perpetual struggle. Follow her heart at the expense of centuries of customs, or repress who she really is, and remain a devout member of the tribe. The chief faces a similar quandary as he sees his daughter grow ever more distant and westernized in her dress and attitudes. Should he cling to tradition or accept progress? And you really do see his struggle. You don't have stereotypes or pigeonholing in this play. There are no easy solutions to these existential dilemmas, and Maluko doesn't pretend to offer them. As a crusading reporter who has written about gay issues for Reuters news agency, the Huffington Post, and other media outlets, Maluko is an authority on the subject, and Wafrika has the effect of documentary reportage shaped into fiction. As a result, it makes for unsettling, uncompromising Gestalt theater. There is torture, both described and exhibited in graphic detail, along with explanations of some of Kenya's most disturbing practices, like plural marriage to child brides, and FGM. And the painting is by a Nigerian woman artist, and it's called An Experience I Will Never Forget. And what's interesting also in the painting, you see the screen, which has circulated, obviously. In fact, as a documentary, Wafrika takes up an historical event. The forcible clitoridectomy of an elderly American nun, Hilda Stumpf, in 1929 in Kenya. She had been a vocal opponent of FGM. And so, of course, she was punished for that. In sum, While most girls want to be princesses, this is the story of a we know the princess who didn't want to be a girl. On the forward. What did she want to be? Well, not what this other painting by a Nigerian woman artist protests, right? Well, you decide. I think it's the openness of the answer to that question, which is really important. So that's basically my introduction to Africa. Nick, you have
Yes.
anything more you would like to say?
No, just also maybe to think about it at the end of part 2, which again it's not the end of the play, but it's just the end of part 2. Maybe the questions that are raised that there's no answer given is Owino's circumcised. They believe now she'll finally behave and finally, she's circumcised to get married. She's supposed to get married. So the questions that are hang up in the air, of course, are now: can you be a lesbian without a clitoris? If the relationship were to continue, how would that relationship manifest itself? In my mind, and in the version in part 3, they get more creative because they have to, and they're forced to be more creative about the body, about lovemaking, about sexuality, about the limitations, the parameters, stuff like that. And then, in a world where someone identifies as trans, does the circumcision actually assist? And is it necessarily? I mean, these are things that are problematized. Does it assist or does it hurt the body? Because there are some people who actually willingly go into it. Not the circumcision, but just say, listen, I don't want to have a vagina, I want to have a penis, so I'm gonna. So it's just, these are things that are raised by the play and are looked at by the play. And of course, Bobby's role in the difference between what happens to her and what happens to Owino for accepting the label lesbian. And what happens just the different experiences that tend to happen. I think at the opening, Professor Davis said that a lot of the people who are murdered, who are trans, are people of color, and how does it impact different communities? If the labels are the same, why isn't the value and the currency the same? And if there is equality in a quote-unquote free world, then why are the consequences and repercussions different for different bodies? And what does that mean? And how do you earn, quote-unquote, the gender, the sexuality, and this and that? Is it through pain and struggle with a particular kind of racialized in a particular way? So these things, I think, are raised in the work.
Yeah, I'll tell them what happens to Bobby at the end, in case people haven't read to the end of the play, in order to put this in perspective. Whereas Owino is forcibly clitoridectomized, Bobby is gang raped. Yeah. So, and there is a difference and a similarity in the brutality and psychological effect of those two acts. Which gives me a perfect bridge to the next part of this, Nick. But before I go on to talk about Alice Walker, because what she's looking at is this psychology, is what happens to the mind when the genitals are assaulted in this way, among other things. But that's one of her main themes. Are there any questions? Yes. Question.
So thank you very much, both of you, for your presentations and comments. I thank you for your sort of synopsis of the reviews in the West. How is the play reviewed in Africa?
Oh, Nick, was the play reviewed in Africa?
No, I'm trying to get it, Chimarunga Press, a woman from Chimarunga Press in Southern Africa, we're trying to get it first to South Africa, where there's in the Constitution there is LGBT rights, although there's a lot of lesbians are raped there right now. They can be open now. African lesbians in the rural villages are being raped. But still, we're trying to get the play there. I think, this is just my assumption, if it was done in the East where I'm from, if it was done in Kenya and I was there, we would all face execution. It's just a fact.
Yeah.
because it's so it's against the government, it's against their, but in South Africa, I think we could have a platform. I just got an invitation on Facebook today to go to Egypt and maybe put it up there. Although I don't know,
Yeah.
you get a little worried.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
Right.
but no, it hasn't been reviewed there. It hasn't been performed there. But that's the goal, really, is to go. I would love to go to the East and just go there and just face the beast, and let's just do this work once and for all,
Do you have any sense of circulation in Samizdat form at all, maybe?
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Do you have any information that if the play actually circulates like a Samizdat and Facebook or anything like that, or people are actually having access to it and having this beautiful published print paper form? Do you have any word?
Underground.
Did you hear the question? She'd like to know if you're
Underground, yeah.
aware, if people have access to the play in its manuscript form in the ether, on the internet, or do they have to wait until they order a book and it arrives physically?
I think they have to wait until they order the book. I mean, really, when I sent it, I think it was a month and a half ago. I sent it to South Africa, and it took, because of the way the post works, it took about 3 or 4 weeks to arrive. And this is the first, from what I know, this is the first that it's hitting home.
Yeah.
It's hitting, and that really is where I think it would be good to get audiences there, because then I think the challenge to the government is direct, which is that's the goal, really. That's the goal. Because we've had many heroes and sheroes and trannios just slain for no reason, but that they're queer. And I think we need to just take it straight to the beast and see what will happen is the goal, I think.
Takes courage.
Yeah, we have many allies like yourself, Toby, so
Yeah.
we'll go.
Yeah, we do our best. Yes, another question?
Hi Nick, this is Karen. This is actually to both of you. If I understood correctly, when you talk about the difference between, the very severe difference between body modification and body mutilation, and the question about agency. And I wonder if you could say a few more words about that, because on the one hand, think of FGM as mutilation, but I sense that part of what you were saying is there's some thin lines in terms of agency and making decisions about modifying one's own body in ways that are consensual and not violent and not brutal and not harmful. And that seems to me to be a very difficult line to walk. I wonder if you could say a few words about that.
I can. Yeah, Nick, you want to go first, and then?
No, please tell me go first.
I simply wanted to observe that I don't believe there's any society which doesn't modify the body, right? That one could reasonably suggest that human beings are not altogether satisfied with what they have. And in terms of female genital mutilation, one of the motors of its perpetuity is expressed in the title of an article, "If this were your face, would you leave it as it is?" That's a quote, title of an article, which brings us directly to the question of the beauty of the genital, which then is perceived culturally as not beautiful at all in cultures that cut and infibulate and so on. So that adult women, it's also called, adult women are convinced that they are performing a service for their daughters beyond the explicit requirement that this must be done to get a husband, but that it's an aesthetic gesture a beautification ritual for which they will be thanked, and which, if you read many of the different views expressed, you will find that they're not altogether wrong. Some discussion says this is this aesthetic surgery is a component of FGM. So far, so good. The line is with majority. The line is with the imposition of this, even though I've said something about how the mothers or the fathers are thinking about it. It's the imposition on a child defined by the world community, the Association of Nations through the United Nations, as being children and therefore protected by the conventions on the rights of the child. Yeah. So that's kind of it's in a sense a devious answer. It's but that's where activists would certainly draw the line. That it's you choose what you want when you get to be 18. Yeah, and then we can argue forever if you have to wait till you're 18 or if you're 16 or if you're mature at 14. Yeah, Nick.
Well, I guess I was looking at it from like the point of view, like let's say this story. What can we do with this situation that can make it just much? Because I mean, it's part 2 ends with the circumcision and with the female genital mutilation and there's a whole red. The stage goes red and it's all red and it's bathed in the blood of a clitoris. I think is the last verse, something like that. But then there's part 3, and so what can we do? Which to me is because to me I'm not so as much interested in people falling, these characters in particular, falling flat in the face of these overwhelming issues that they face, but to say to myself, okay, well, now that Z does not have the clitoris, what happens to them in terms of being lesbians? What happens to them in terms of being queer? How can they make love? How can they affirm this body that is no longer the body that they're used to? And I kind of feel that what I love about being queer and what I loved about being a lesbian by default or whatever, was that we were so creative under that pressure. We were so intelligent under that pressure. I don't want to lose that because of those moments. I feel like that's where you would say, okay, well, as an artist, quote unquote, or as a writer, you'd say, listen, what can I do with these overwhelming odds that could make it something that's kind of beautiful? And so I think, in a way, I think that maybe that idea might pop up, because Z does put a sock between, her HIR legs and stuff as a penis, and does all these things to try and change the body, to try and live in an alternate reality, if reality is even real.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where the line is for me, is like to say, okay, well, what can they do with this situation, with this body that I in my personal experience, having gone through certain surgeries and therefore the death of certain body parts, and certain body parts, when I had them, no one was allowed to touch them. I wasn't allowed to touch them. All that kind of stuff. You're taking a bath and all this stuff is good. It's good stuff to use as a writer, to say, okay, well, what did I do to negotiate these blocks? What did I do to create these blocks? How did I use them to get up out of bed in the morning? Not to lie flat and woe is me and all that, although there's room for that too. But just, so that's I think from that point of view. So I would say, yeah, it's a fine line. And I think even to mix it up is a great line, but also to celebrate those sexualities that you say, well, okay, we're always pedophiles, right? We're always deviants, we're always this, we're always like that, we're always portrayed in this lens. Well, but no, this is why it's such an important and beautiful and magical thing. This is what the theater can do and bring magic to that space in that moment. And that's really what I would try to do and been exploring in part 3. You know, for them to take that ugly thing and make it beautiful by what they do with it. Not necessarily aesthetically, but how you can. And it is because it is the lens that you apply. And you have to also remember that as an African, you guys are my other, right? Right? The way you deal with death is different from the way we deal with death. You know what I mean? Death is everywhere. People die. I have 2 brothers, they died of malaria. It's always, so that is, it's something, you know, so the way we deal with pain and struggle is different, not better, not worse, but just different. So I've got to use that. I can't put that in the back. I've got to use it, you know, and say, okay, in the face of this thing, what would we do? What was done? Why was it magical? Why did you go back to it when you knew you could die? Why did you go deeper when you knew that it was painful? Like that. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. It's a counter-portrait of successful intervention, thereby adjusting this thorny aspect of Walker's legacy. So that's what the book intends to do, and it really does it, I think. And you can get a very nice synopsis of each chapter. It's already on my blog site on the internet. Every chapter has the equivalent of 2 or 3 pages of synopsis on the internet. That's the way I psyched myself out for writing the introduction. Yeah. So I'll just sort of run through the presentation here. How many of you have read Possessing the Secret of Joy? Right. So it's important that I present the book. Yeah. So you'll understand what's happening. It really is the first encyclopedic catalog of what FGM does. And I'll add, because it's nowhere in the presentation and it wasn't there either, Effa Wadorkanu, who is now, she was just awarded Woman of the Year for her work against FGM since the late 1970s. She was made a member of the British Empire. She has the title Order of the British Empire, which she received from the Queen, and is now, I would say, you know, if I wanted to choose 5 people in the world who are really the leaders of the movement, she's one of them. She said that when Alice Walker wrote Possessing the Secret of Joy, she, Effa, wrote a letter to Alice to say, I can't believe that you have written the woman that I meet daily in my counseling work. That Tashi exists thousandfold. Yeah? So this is the character that I will present here very briefly. Imagine if a woman you loved was dominated by a wound that never heals and continues to evict her soul while she's still alive. And this is a quote from Adam, one of the characters in Possessing the Secret of Joy, in fact, the husband of Tashi. This is not womanhood, it's FGM. That line was given to one of my students. Okay, so, and now this is another character who, looking at Tashi, describes the immediate aftermath of an infibulation which Tashi had chosen for herself. Why she chose it, as in her late teen years, will be described in a moment. It was heartbreaking to see on their return, after she had been infibulated, how passive Tashi had become, no longer cheerful or impish. Her movements, which had always been graceful and quick with the liveliness of her personality, now became merely graceful, slow, studied. This was true even of her smile, which she never seemed to offer you without considering it first. That her soul had been dealt a mortal blow was plain to anyone who dared look into her eyes. And if you read literature about FGM, you will find this observation again and again, that the light goes out of the children's eyes. Well, as you can see, I'm very fond of this picture. It expresses a great deal of the issue to me. So what is FGM? If you all know this, we'll go through this quickly. Yeah? Okay. And here are some of the statistics, which sadly don't change, haven't changed very much for a number of reasons. It is a violation of human rights, and as the UN makes clear, this is the point which is debated. It reflects deep-rooted inequality between the sexes and constitutes an extreme form of discrimination against women. Why discrimination? Because it does systematically make them unhealthy. I'm choosing my words carefully here, or at least susceptible to disabilities. FGM is mostly performed by traditional excisers, but, and this is a real problem, is rapidly entering legitimate medicine that is performed by doctors for profit. And here we have another example of that line between genital mutilation and cosmetic surgery, because cosmetic surgery is also promoted by doctors who want to make a profit. And they're promoting FGM in Egypt to make a profit, in other places as well. So, who is Alice Walker? I think you do know, born in 1944, and an essayist, novelist, poet. But the second paragraph is worth looking at. The patriarchal wound she suffered, those are her words, when an older brother's BB gun aimed at her took out her eye, enabled her to empathize with others' scars, resulting from sexism, racism, oppression, and inequality. She was 8 years old. Her books have been translated into more than 24 languages. And further concerning her empathy, she wrote in Search of Our Mother's Gardens, a book of essays, for a long time I thought I was ugly and disfigured. I believe, though, that it was from this period, from my solitary, lonely position, the position of an outcast, that I began really to see people and things, really to notice relationships. I no longer felt like the little girl I was. I felt old and unpleasant to look at, filled with shame. That's a word we haven't used yet, but it's really important in this context. I retreated into solitude, read stories, and began to write poems. So what then is the secret of joy? It is resistance. What Nick was saying about how you take a wound, I mean, it is a warrior mark, as Alice Walker defines it, and you don't permit it to lay you flat. You find creative ways of working with it and through it. In Walker's novel, in A Lincoln Woman, this is an invented African group. Tashi voluntarily undergoes FGM despite her sister's death from the procedure because she wants to avoid harassment, right? She's escaped it so far. But why is it done? Because the social punishment is judged by many people to be worse than the actual amputation. So to avoid harassment, social pressure, but more strongly, this is a positive, if you will, motivation, to make a statement on the importance of tradition in a tribe that's been colonized by settlers and missionaries, right? So it is this, I would say, misguided, misplaced sense of patriotism under colonial assault. That it is very, very clear that the idea of resistance to colonialism is part of it. So what is its significance? Walker's novel is the first fiction by a famous author whose main theme is FGM. There were many before, and in Africa. But even in the nations, the African nations where these other authors were published, the authors were not yet famous when they did it. I'll just give one example, Ngugi wa Thiong'o in 1955 in Kenya. It was his first novel. Yeah, so he wasn't yet famous, he became famous afterwards. Right, and she drew global attention to the issue that had been shamefully ignored. Walker's astute development of characters, narration, and setting in Possessing the Secret of Joy reveals emotional truths about female genital mutilation and has influenced movements around the world. And I would like to emphasize the importance of this emotional truth because the majority of literature, published discourse on the subject is very, very dry. It's social scientific. It's, I mean, you need social science, you need statistics. But by bypassing the affective dimension, it doesn't reach you in the same way. Although most cases of FGM involve little girls, Tashi, the main character, and a young woman, tells her story with maturity even though she is mentally ill, which I haven't said yet, but that she does develop a mental illness as a result of this assault. Tashi's gay stepson, Pierre, majored in anthropology and seeks a way to explain Tashi's turmoil. He looks at myth and symbol. He uses anthropology and discovers that part of Tashi's recurrent nightmare is translated into images of clipped wings and encasement and immobility and these concrete symbols for inhibition, which definitely results. And then you also have Lisette, who is Adam, that's Tashi's husband's French lover. As you can see, there is nothing conventional here. Insist on independence and women's rights, Lisette. So, as Pierre notes, he notes that he recognized the connection between mutilation and enslavement that is the root of the domination of women in the world. I simply drew this out of the text because it's one of the more profound applicable insights. The connection between mutilation and enslavement, which is at the root of domination of women in the world. Enslavement is a very strong rubric, but it has its application. So, Walker uses alternating first-person narratives. Every one you read, all of these characters, you will read them in the I form. It's an original approach. And the first-person narration also has a specific talent for reaching the emotions of the reader. First-person narratives to present FGM through the eyes of women, men, the mutilated, the non-mutilated, as well as an FGM practitioner, Melissa, whom Tashi kills. Replace knives and blades with pens and books. This was a demonstration. So, the symbolic execution of the exciser, followed by Tashi herself facing the firing squad, explores the theme of women's complicity in their oppression. Yeah, that's a major theme, women's complicity. But we also understand it as a natural result of FGM, that this is what results from a lesson in impotence. Yeah. One of 3 epigrams reads, when the axe entered the forest, the tree said, the handle is one of us. I have to think about it a little bit, but right. So additional themes are psychological devastation and migration. And in The Scourge, artist Alopuni Temitopi Ayasana, Sanya expresses the harm, and Tashi, who migrates to the USA from her African village, seeks psychotherapy in Switzerland from Dr. Carl Jung. And I mention that because you have Carl Jung is introduced into this story in a very refreshing way. And obviously also his yin-yang and sense of androgynous insights. There's a chapter in the book also about the direct influence of Jung's autobiography on the novel. So, in the new book, Waging Empathy, we have a group of scholars who explore Walker's multiplicity of themes, and here I'm just going to tell you what's in it. I mean, briefly. There's an introduction by me. And then the first part is called Torture and Taboo. I talk about go into detail about how she was negatively received. And then we have a translation from the German. Verena Stephan is there. She was the woman who launched the German women's movement with a melange autobiography, memoir, fiction, poetry, called Häutungen, published in 1975, wildfire reception, word of mouth, and it's published now in English by the Feminist Press as what is it in English? Häutungen.
Like healing, but that's not the word that's used. Shedding?
Shedding.
Yes, right.
Yeah, shedding. So, Verena Stephan wrote a book about girls in literature, and she devotes a chapter to Tashi. So when she calls it Mutilation of the Vulva and Circumcision of Other Female Freedoms, or The Perfect Vulva's Aura and Revolt. What she does is look at Tashi's courage. Now, even though Tashi decides that she's going to be a patriot, she follows the steps that Nick has outlined, right? That she is severely wounded, but searches for wholeness in that she engages in therapy. And although she's willing to sacrifice her life and kill the exciser, right? She becomes a murderer. A movement, an embryonic movement, results from her actions. Well, the next chapter actually dialogues with Stefan. This is M. Julia Fabi. She's Italian, but this was originally published in English. Sexual Violence in the Black Atlantic on Alice Walker's Possessing the Secret of Joy. Fabi is arguing against Stefan in that, to her, death permeates Possessing the Secret of Joy. That much as the heroine, Tashi, tries to derive something positive, in other words, a movement, an abolition movement, or to stimulate it, or to ensure it that's her legacy, that doesn't take place. So the point being that the novel is rich enough in nuance to support two conflicting interpretations. In the next chapter, we have Claudia Landi. This is my translation from the Italian. Animals in Possessing the Secret of Joy. And here I just delighted in doing this because you can see that that there is an effort to not only overcome difference between ethnicities and nationalities and genders, but between humans and animal species in the empathy which this novel projects. Yeah. So animals play a large role in this book.
Toby, I'm going to do a time check because we have about 15 minutes.
Yeah,
I want to
got
make
two more
sure
slides.
people have time to ask questions.
Yeah,
Okay.
just 2 more slides.
All right, great.
Yeah. Next one is called Trauma Treatment, and I will go through these quickly. This one has the Americans. Excuse me. The first writer is a Belgian, and then we have 3 Americans. So there are people who are looking at Possessing the Secret of Joy in terms of American literature of various kinds. Jennifer Brody uses Audre Lorde as her touchstone. Yeah. And does that successfully. And finally we have Treasure and Text. Here we have Sachiko Mitsumori, Japanese, Hilda Twangiri from Uganda, Gulab Singh from India, and Fang Zhu was here from China. Religion, Ecofeminism, and Female Genital Mutilation, Cracking the Code of Patriarchy. And finally, we have Nick. Reading the novel as a playwright, Wofford, his author, responds to Possessing the Secret of Joy in Becoming a Man, XXYX Africa, and part of what he says in a very lyrical presentation, very passionate presentation, simply takes off from Walker's inspiration, that her example of possibility has inspired him. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. There we go. Any questions? I would like to make one more comment.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
I was
if I, one more comment. Because we talked a lot about clitoral cutting. I've begun a fund for clitoral restoration. And the fund exists, and if anyone would like to contribute to it, we actually have our first patient. It is Pierre Foldes in France who is going to do it. That's all already confirmed. He operates for free, but the clinic charges, right? So, you know, this is just for your information. And if anyone would like to contribute, we can supply also a legitimate tax-exempt certificate. Okay, that's all I want to say.
And also,
Oh, yes.
we have a couple of books also for sale.
Yeah, they should be $20, but I'm selling them here for $16.
Okay, so if you're interested. So are there questions or comments? Yeah, Gina, go ahead.
Well, I have a question about
you were saying you've been working so long on this process, and while there have been some successes, certainly the UN passage of the UN resolution that you mentioned. But I guess I'm wondering how you kind of sustain your engagement, how you avoid becoming too discouraged, those kinds of
question. It's a good question. I think one is, it's like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you do find yourself kind of ignoring the nitty gritty, right? Which is the blood and the screams and the really, it's really horrible part of this, because you just instinctively turn away from the slaughter. And then you're confronted with someone like Layla Hussein, Leyla, who is now all over the BBC and the internet, who was he's a Somali victim, who's spoken to The Guardian within the last couple of days, who was featured on Channel 4, BBC's Channel 4, BBC Channel 4, am I making a mistake here? In any case, who then has had to flee her home. She is the victim of an intense campaign of hatred and abuse. And then you realize that it is the African women like my friend Kadi, who have the courage, or Nick, who have the courage to come out. And that's when you're rejuvenized and you take it up again, because you realize that, you know, they absolutely need support. That's sort of it. I also have here, for anyone who'd like a copy, a feminist statement on, what's it called? It's called The Feminist Statement on Female Genital Mutilation. And it's a signature movement on the internet to present to the Department for International Development in Great Britain, who has, for the first time, allotted a significant amount of money, 35 million British pounds, for 5 years, to the global effort to end FGM. And what this statement is saying is that the money, please, should not go to those groups who are ostensibly fighting against it, but not presenting it as something, not presenting it as the horror that it is. Yeah, and also that tend not to be led by Africans. Yeah. There's one specific here. Yeah. It is essential to acknowledge that African women leaders themselves, in joint statements, have decreed that FGM should in all formal discussion be called mutilation, and not by any other euphemistic term. It is deeply disrespectful of those brave women, and also extremely unhelpful to ignore their judgment and advice. And that's what is taking place. Right, and it is calling for support of African-led initiatives.
Toby, are you asking us, or are you giving us a URL where we can sign this?
Yeah,
or?
it's here. I will. I have some copies of this.
Okay.
I have a number of copies. Oh, and I also wanted to give you, each of you, you know, in case you would like to order a copy of Empathy and Rage at a 20% discount. Yeah.
So I'll just pass these around. If
Yeah,
want
you can
one,
keep
and
that
spread the
and-
word. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we need some more.
And then we can sign out. Yeah, I was interested in where the reward card comes, but if I order it, then I will find out. Sure.
Yes.
I will now, right?
Okay, are there any, we can actually just have an informal, continue with an informal discussion if you like, and if you'd like something to drink or cookies. But one more question? Maybe, Bobby?
Well, I don't know, there's a question, it's not, I've been struggling to formulate it because I don't want to be misunderstood. I find it very, very important what Nick said and what you said about because it is very important not to give up, it is important to resist. But I also think when one hears that Nick made it sound so wonderful that an extremely violent and negative event can lead to the, to creative, particular creativity, not to all of a sudden say, well, we don't have to do anything. And this is what I'm afraid of, is that then one kind of says, oh, well, we don't have to do anything. Because this is not the case in point.
No.
He is putting on a very brave face, but the reality is that what made them grow tremendously was really something very destructive, and that was not necessary.
Yeah.
You know, and this is why, in a very different context, and they could still have killed them and could still kill them.
Right.
And, you know, in a different context, this is why, for example, the German transsexual legislation has been suspended because they did recognize that it was not within human rights legislation to ask transgender people to mutilate their bodies before they could have a change in their passport that changed their pronouns.
Right.
And it is one of these years, they will really change the legislation. Right now it's suspended and they can just change the identity. Because it is within the individual's right to do whatever the individual wants to do with the individual's body,
Yeah.
and nobody else's.
Right. Right.
The
And-
grown
Yeah.
adult individual.
I wasn't aware of what was going on with the legislation.
But you weren't, oh yeah,
No,
well,
no.
sure.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so you're saying that there was a proposal that transgender people
But
have
until
to.
Germany had a very early legislation in 1998. And the name change was relatively easy, but and I'm struggling because I'm so tired with the, what's the Familienstand? You know, like
Whether they,
the gender change, basically. The gender change, you could only have a gender change if you had
an operation.
Surgery.
That's surgery,
Yeah,
right.
but which
That's
surgery?
right, yeah.
Even the genital surgery.
Yes, right.
Because you had to prove that you were no longer fertile.
Yes, right, and that has been suspended.
And all of this is, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I looked at it, and the whole big legislation, everything says suspended, 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 suspended. There's no letter of the darn law.
Yeah,
But it's been like that since the Supreme Court's Verfassungsgericht
yeah,
reacted. And this is now, we have 2013, I think 2008 or 9. I mean, you know, they
Wow.
haven't really formulated a new one. Part of it is because they cannot agree on the term. They don't want to call it transsexual. And they actually, the people concerned want to call it trans asterisk. And the parliamentarians aren't quite that far. So
yeah.
it's a sort of
You'll see that,
an impasse.
there's, I think that trans, I've seen it, today somewhere.
Yeah. So, but meanwhile, it's, yeah, I don't want to monopolize, sorry.
Okay, well, we can continue talking, but I wanted to once again thank Tobe for her presentation.